This is where all your training on discipline is needed. So you have that one part of your mind that's like, let's work out. But the other part is growing. The part that's like, no, I don't need to today. This small part will win because you're disciplined. Hello everybody, welcome to Vibing Out with Texony. I'm your host, Texony, aka Mr. WorldVibe. And what we have here is a community to give local voices a public platform of shared ideas, knowledge, and perspectives. So this is season 2, Go Home, where a majority of the episodes will serve as a guide for you to return to your home. But not just our physical house. Instead, we're going to find out ways to discover and understand the best version of ourselves, be it physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, or spiritually. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go home. So, welcome in, everybody. Hello. This is an episode where I'm going to be talking about why I feel as if I'm at war. It's a mentality that's branched off from my mind to my body, to my soul. Where am I pointing? My soul. So if this podcast makes you feel, I don't know, if it's tough to listen to, if it's challenging to listen to, then good. Because I'm sharing what I'm going through, and if you can't relate, then yeah, it might be kind of tough to relate to understand. But if it's something that you can get, if you are relating to it, if you understand where I'm coming from, if you find yourself going through similar experiences, I love that even more. And I would encourage you guys to, message me, comment on this video if you're watching on YouTube, DM me, Instagram, text me. Let me know if you can relate to what I'm talking about. If you feel as if I do, let's have a conversation. Okay, and while you're at it, show love to those who love you. All right, I love you guys for being here. Thank you. So drop a like if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe or follow, however you're listening or watching to this episode. So I thank you guys for that. And let's get started, okay? So I want to just give a caveat first, like a disclaimer, is I'm not talking about war as in, talking about I feel as if I'm at war, like I'm about to go, fight people, kill people. Like, no, I'm not talking about war in the negative aspects of it where it's like clashing heads and violence. I'm not talking about that kind of war. I'm not here to condone violence. That's not what I'm here for. What I'm talking about instead is I feel like I'm training. I feel like I'm training to be a soldier. I feel like I'm in my own army. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm training to be a warrior with the mentality, with the routines I do. That's what I'm talking about. And we're going to talk about ideas of peace versus war, how they're kind of juxtaposed. And this is just my experience, right? So that's what I'm here to talk about, and I hope you like it. So yeah, let's go through how I feel like I'm at war. Like I said, how my mind is functioning nowadays, what I'm doing to my body, and how my soul, how my spirit is being affected. We're going to go through these 3 levels, and we're going to go from there. Let's start with the mind. And I want to begin with a quote that I saw from this video, The Warrior Mentality by Top Think. It's a YouTube video. So they say this about what it means to be a warrior, what that mindset is like. Quote, "The truth that most successful warriors treat life like a battlefield, full of harmful obstacles that you need to overcome to succeed. Warriors are adaptable, capable, and audacious because they know they will always emerge triumphant." And I love that quote. I feel like it's so empowering. I can relate to it. And you know what? That's the positives of feeling like you're at war. You're a warrior. You're training. You have a bigger purpose. And that's what it feels like for me. I've been building and strengthening my mental fortitude. I really, really have over the past maybe like year, but I've got more and more serious as time has come. What are some things I do? I write down what I want to do on a schedule, okay? I've been preaching this, guys. 42% more likely to get something done if you write it down. You're 42% more likely. So I also have calendars. I have 3 calendars I use, guys. I have a Google Calendar for my day-to-day meetings, bills, stuff like that. I have another calendar for all podcast dates and posts I'm going to be doing. And I have a calendar I use in my room right over here where I just list all my workouts I do. So that is important to me, to know what's going on, to look at it, I have a checklist, okay? So I also, every day, where's my checklist? Let me go get it. Y'all thought I was playing. Here it is, okay? I write down 3 days on here, and I just keep a track. I write down 3 to 10 things that I'm going to do per day. And all of this, the calendars, the checklists, the schedules, this keeps me focused. I wake up every day with a sense of purpose. I wake up and I'm like, let's go. Let's get to this money. Let's get to this podcast. Let's get to this work. I wake up every day with that. I stay focused. I use lo-fi music. I don't know if you guys have heard that. It's just like instrumental music, very calming. It helps me be productive when I work. I use coffee. I use the benefits of caffeine. Drink a coffee, do work. I always pair those habits together. I don't watch any TV, guys. None. I don't. I seriously don't. Ask anyone I know. I barely watch Netflix. I might watch a show from here to there, but I don't even watch that. Like, I'm a very focused person. This is the mental fortitude I'm talking about. Another big part of being a warrior is that your words are aligned with your actions. And I am a very accountable person. I hold myself accountable by telling you guys on the podcast, hey, this is what I'm doing today. And I do it. Have my schedules, my routines, my checklists. I do what I say I'm going to do. That's a very warrior mentality thing to do. Another thing is fear, right? Fear lives in the mind. Okay, we're talking about how my mind is shifting in this warrior mindset. I used to be very uncomfortable with a lot of things in life, but now I look to be uncomfortable. I look for places that I am uncomfortable and I go there. That's where strength and growth and learning comes from going where you're afraid to go. And I actually use fear as a motivation. Like, I don't want to fail at this. So my fear of failure is my motivation. And that's something my mentor, preaches on his videos on YouTube is, use fear. It's inevitable. We're all going to have fears. Use that to inspire you to keep going. Be afraid of being who you are and just never improving. So that's what I do. That's how I use fear for my advantage. Another big part about being a warrior, having this mentality, is, generosity, caring. You should be selfish and think about what you have to do, but also be selfless, right? You have to know how to prioritize each, which comes with time and energy management. We'll get into energy later when I talk about how my soul and spirit are being affected by all of this. But here's a quote I want to give you guys from my mentor. Something he told me. Well, he didn't tell me. He said it on the YouTube video. This is what he said. Nothing is more characteristic of a man than the manner in which he behaves towards fools. And this is something that I'm learning how to do. I feel like I have knowledge, I have wisdom, a little bit. And I feel like I know things, but I never want to treat people like they don't know things. I never want to feel like I'm better than anyone else. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to come off as condescending, even though I feel like sometimes I do, because I know the value I have within me, the strength I have. I try to move with grace, especially around people who I want to influence and inspire. I try to not come at them with a patronizing tone or condescending tone. That's something I'm working on. So that's kind of one of my goals here, kind of one of my areas of improvement, but I always try to move with generosity, care, respect. That's something I'm working on, and that's something I value. It really is. So yeah, that's a big part about being a warrior. And another thing with that, wealth, power, status, these don't mean that you're better than a person. I have a status as being a podcaster. I have influence. I have a, personality. I have a persona here. But I don't want that to mean that I'm more successful than someone else. I can't learn from someone else. No, right? That's why I have mentors. That's why I have coaches. That's why I have people like this, because I know I got to be humble at the same time. Even though I can teach people, I still have to be learning. So again, these are just things in my mind that bring me that warrior mindset. And I feel like my mind it's tough. Trust me, I have a tough mind. I'm working on the body, and the soul is always going to be something to work on. But I feel like my mind is as sharp as it's ever been. I'm just sharpening it more, but that's where I want to start, the mind. let's move on to the body. Okay. Biggest thing that carries over from your mind to all your results with your body is discipline. Discipline is in here, and it translates to everything you do. Any habit, anything important you have to do, which in this case, it's working out. That's the biggest thing that discipline has allowed me to, do so effectively. Is I work out 6 to 7 days a week. I started in January, gym and yoga January. I'm still doing workouts 6+ days a week, still doing yoga 2 to 3 times a week. I just started mindfulness, meal prep and meditation March. So these challenges I've been doing for the past few years have brought me that discipline. Turning ideas into habits, and then the discipline, I always say the same thing, guys. I've said it on my Instagram story. I'll say this to anybody that I want to help, is discipline is so important, because even though I want to work out some days I'm pumped. I got energy. I'm looking forward to my workouts. That's all fine and dandy. But it's those days that you don't want to work out. Everything in your mind is like, nah, do it tomorrow. You're fine. This is where the discipline is needed. This is why you have discipline, because on the days you don't want to do something, in this case, work out, those days you don't want to are the days you need to. If you're injured or sore, too sore, that's understandable. But if it's just your mind telling you, making excuses, oh, we'll do another day, this is where all your training on discipline is needed. So you have that one part of your mind that's like, let's work out. But the other part is growing. The part that's like, no, I don't need to today. This small part will win because you're disciplined. That's what training my mind has allowed me to do with my body, is stay disciplined, okay? Some parts of that I'm also doing, some parts of this discipline, my routines, okay? I wake up early, I make my bed, do my push-ups, pull-ups, ab workouts, meditate. I feel like I'm in the army. Like, that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm training. That's why I'm talking about being a warrior. I feel like I was made for this. I feel like I'm thriving by being tough on myself, doing the exact same things I need to do. And, working out in the morning is a huge thing as well, okay? I can't stress movement is so important. I have a chapter in my upcoming book, How to Vibe Out, an ebook about movement. Movement is medicine, okay? We all chase the dopamine highs when we want to feel good. We eat good food, we watch good shows, we laugh, we do drug substances, liquor, alcohol, same thing, cannabis, all that stuff increases our dopamine, right? We feel good. Endorphins are similar in that we feel good, but this is like the runner's high. Endorphins come from working out. So if I work out in the morning, I've set my day. That runner's high is going to last me all day. So I'm chasing endorphins now. I'm not chasing dopamine as much, right? Endorphins are better for you. In my opinion, they do more for you. Science shows they promote productivity, goal setting, and concentration. My life is an example to that. I can attest to that. So yeah, I work out in the morning. I work out once, twice a day, all the time. And honestly, the most joy I feel like I'm going to receive this year, like I'm looking forward to going outside, being on walks, runs, bike rides, playing sports, hiking, being at the beach. Like, I am looking forward to being outside. That's what my heart wants to do so badly. And so I'm just training to be an athlete. I'm telling you guys, abstaining from drugs. Like, I don't want to put anything in my body that's poisonous right now. I'm just trying to make my body as tough as it can be to match my mind. And I should throw on, I actually got a fitness coach as of today. Okay, shout out Jojo. He's got his own Instagram page, his own huge group, his brand that he started from the ground up. He's helping so many people with their fitness goals, and he actually talks about having a warrior mindset. That's what his whole shtick is. And I'm just so excited to have a coach, to have a fitness coach to help me. So I'm really looking forward to working, under his knowledge, under his learning, his teachings. And yeah, I mean, that just ties in. It's funny that he talks about being a warrior and I'm talking about that too. It's kind of everything lining up, okay? Like the universe, you could say. But we'll go there at the end. We'll go there next is the universe. We'll talk about the soul and spirit because that's another important part to being a warrior. And let's go there for the last part of this podcast. So admittedly, for me, I'll be honest, okay, the soul is the part I'm still learning about. It is, okay, I meditate or do yoga every other day. I really try to stay focused on that because that really helps me align with what's inside of me, with my higher purpose and my inner self. Like I said, this idea of peace versus war, right? You have to take control of the breath, okay? The breath is the only thing that you have your entire life is your breath. It's the only thing that actually is with you your whole life. Jay Shetty mentioned that in his book, Think Like a Monk. And when you take control of your breath, you're able to use it or control it in high stress situations. High stress as in physically stressful, like when you're working out, doing an intense workout, your breath is controlled. So you have better cardio, right? Better cardiovascular health. Or how about your breath when you're in a stressful situation like a altercation? If you're like, you're losing your breath in situations, you gotta calm down. So taking control of your breath is huge for this soul aspect. It ties in because when you have a calm breath, you have a calm mind and you're able to make better decisions. And like I said, Jay Shetty's Think Like a Monk book, so compelling to me. I feel like I identify as a monk. And he says that you don't have to be a monk to have characteristics of a monk. Like you can still feel like one, even though you don't practice every single thing that a monk does, meditating for 48 hours a day. You don't have to do these things, but gratitude is something that I preach, I practice. Appreciating sleep. These are all parts of what monks value, eating healthy food, being a better listener than a speaker, listening without judgment, accepting change, and you accept that pain happens, to avoid suffering. A lot of things that monks identify as, I identify as. I feel like being a warrior and being a monk are very similar, and I'm kind of in the middle of those. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on some mind, body, and soul aspects of how I feel like I'm at war, becoming this warrior, training, so tough. And, if you can relate to anything, like I said, message me, comment on this video, DM me on Instagram, reach out to me. I'd love to hear your feedback. If this podcast had nothing, like you just couldn't relate, that's okay too. I appreciate that you were here to listen, to get a peek into my mind, into what I'm going through. That's what these Thursday thoughts are about. So just want to leave you with one really important quote. One quote that spoke to me, kind of was the reason, one of the inspirations behind me doing this whole podcast. Like I love quotes. I love aphorisms, words that are like small phrases that apply to everything. Those are aphorisms. And I love this aphorism. To have good soldiers, a nation must always be at war. Napoleon Bonaparte. That's how I've been moving these days. I feel like I have to be training always, so I'm ready. And it's just a great saying. If you want to be ready for something, don't stop preparing for it. And so yeah, I just wanted to leave you with that quote. And I wanted to talk about all these topics today. I hope you enjoyed it. Lots more podcasts coming. The release of my book, How to Vibe Out, an ebook, is coming April 1st, sooner than you think. So hope you're ready for that. I hope you've enjoyed the previews. I have a few previews on my Instagram. If you want to get the full previews and a discount on the book when it comes out, join the Patreon. It's going to be a link in the description. Yeah, you're going to get 25 to 50% off by joining the Patreon. Not to mention access to behind the scene videos, exclusive content, and your support on the podcast. Like I said, show love to those who love you. I love you guys so much, whether you join the Patreon or not. And I'll see you guys very soon. So thank you for being here. This has been Vibing Out with Texony. I'm your host, Texony, aka Mr. WorldVibe. And I'm signing out. Peace.